Welcome to World Alert Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Breaking news. The Philippines has drawn a new, very real line in the South China Sea. This is not just a claim, it's a concrete, steel, and strategic statement. The country has unveiled its longest ever military runway on Pagasa, Philippine Island, right in the heart of the disputed Spratlys. This is a direct challenge to Beijing's dominance. The runway is more than an airstrip, it's a symbol of sovereignty, and a message that Manila won't back down. For years, China has built artificial islands, turning reefs into military fortresses. Smaller nations watched, feeling powerless. Today, the Philippines has made its boldest move yet. The new runway breaks Pagasa's isolation, allowing larger military and civilian aircraft to land for the first time. This isn't just a regional story. The South China Sea is a global trade artery, and tensions here threaten the world economy. The United States, a key Philippine ally, is watching closely. Washington has pledged to defend freedom of navigation, and this runway could become a critical asset in any crisis. The stakes are higher than ever. The Philippine government calls this a necessary step for defense and for the welfare of its citizens on Pagasa. In Beijing, it's seen as a provocation. Will China respond with more aggressive patrols or economic retaliation? The world is watching as a new, more dangerous chapter in the South China Sea begins. The concrete runway is not the end. It's just the start. Pagasa Island was once a remote, vulnerable outpost, home to a small Filipino community and a handful of soldiers. Life was tough, with a short, unreliable coral runway and constant threats from typhoons and Chinese vessels. Now Pagasa has transformed. The new runway is a feat of engineering, built under the watchful eyes of the Chinese Coast Guard. It's the first major upgrade to Philippine-held territory in the Spratlys in decades. Manila is shifting from passive defense to active assertion of its rights. The Philippines is investing in these islands, not just occupying them. This is a direct response to years of Chinese encroachment. The new runway is a lifeline, ensuring supplies, reinforcements, and evacuations are possible. Soldiers and civilians now have greater security and purpose. Pagasa is no longer just a symbol, it's a functional, defiant fortress. The story of Pagasa is the story of a nation's resolve. In a sea of disputed claims, it stands as a concrete fact. The Philippines is making its presence undeniable. The transformation of Pagasa goes beyond the runway. A new port now allows larger ships to dock, revolutionizing logistics and supply. The extended runway means bigger aircraft can land, enabling rapid deployment of troops and aid. Regular patrols and improved surveillance are now possible. For civilians, travel is safer and more reliable. Manila is also improving housing, power, water, and communications, making life sustainable on the island. The goal, a thriving community that strengthens the Philippines' legal and moral claim. Pagasa is set to become the administrative center for the Kalayaan municipality. This dual-use approach, military and civilian, contrasts sharply with China's purely military outposts. The Philippines frames its actions as development, not militarization. Pagasa is a living testament to sovereignty. It's a forward base, but also a home. Pagasa's development stands in stark contrast to China's nearby Subi Reef, a fortress with no civilians, just military might. Subi Reef is bristling with missiles, radar, and fighter jet hangars. The Philippine approach is different. Pagasa remains a civilian settlement with a mayor, school, and fishermen. This dual-use nature is Manila's strategy, defensive, not expansionist. China's artificial islands are unsinkable aircraft carriers, dominating the region. The international community is alarmed by Beijing's militarization, which violates past promises and international law. The Philippines isn't trying to match China's power, it's creating a dilemma. Any attack on Pagasa would target civilians, not just soldiers. This makes Pagasa a poison shrimp, small but costly to swallow. The dual-use outpost complicates China's calculations. Manila gains leverage it never had before. The world sees a stark difference: fortress versus community. Pagasa's existence is a challenge China can't easily answer. The stakes are now higher for both sides. China's response to the new runway was swift and menacing. Beijing accused the Philippines of illegally occupying Chinese territory and demanded an immediate halt to construction. But words were just the start. Chinese vessels swarmed Pagasa, with maritime militia ships harassing Filipino fishermen and blocking resupply missions. The Chinese Coast Guard stepped up aggressive maneuvers, using water cannons and shadowing Philippine boats. Warships have been spotted closer to Pagasa than ever before. This show of force is meant to intimidate and remind Manila of Beijing's military edge. China may also use economic pressure, restricting trade, investment, or tourism. The goal: isolate the Philippines and make defiance costly. But this time, Manila isn't standing alone. The world is watching, and alliances are being tested. The pressure is real, but so is Philippine resolve. The standoff is just beginning. The Philippines' bold move comes under the protective shadow of its oldest ally, the United States. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty commits both nations to defend each other in case of attack, and Washington has clarified this includes the South China Sea. This is a powerful deterrent. China knows that attacking Pagasa could trigger a U.S. response. The alliance is more than words. Joint military exercises and upgraded bases are now routine. The U.S. has helped modernize the Philippine military, providing ships, aircraft, and surveillance systems. American access to Philippine bases means rapid response is possible. The alliance gives Manila the confidence to stand firm. The runway on Pagasa is not just a Filipino asset. It's a strategic asset for the alliance. The U.S.-Philippines partnership is stronger than ever. China must now factor in American involvement in every move. The stakes of escalation have never been higher. The region's security depends on this alliance. The world is watching how far it will go. Pagasa's upgrades are part of a bigger strategy anchored by Palawan, the Philippine province closest to the Spratlys. Palawan is the staging ground for all West Philippine Sea operations. Military buildup here has been significant. Air bases upgraded, new facilities built, and advanced aircraft deployed. From Palawan, planes can reach Pagasa in under an hour, providing rapid support. The naval base at Oyster Bay is being developed to host the largest warships and visiting U.S. vessels. New coastal defense missiles create a protective shield along Palawan's coast. This Palawan pivot creates a layered defense: Pagasa as the front line, Palawan as the support hub. The combination is a credible deterrent to Chinese aggression. The Philippines is connecting remote outposts to a robust mainland defense. This makes its claims harder to challenge or ignore. The strategy is clear: defend, sustain, and project power. The West Philippine Sea is now anchored by more than just hope. It's anchored by real capability. The new runway comes amid escalating tensions and near-daily confrontations at sea. Chinese Coast Guard ships have used water cannons and ramming tactics against Philippine vessels. These incidents are growing more violent, with real risk of miscalculation. A single collision or accidental shot could spark a major crisis. The line between intimidation and open conflict is razor thin. The U.S. has condemned China's actions and reaffirmed its treaty commitments. But Beijing keeps pushing, testing the limits of the alliance. Both sides are locked in a cycle of escalation. The new runway adds another flashpoint. China may try to block flights or declare an air defense zone. Any interference would be a direct challenge to Philippines' sovereignty and U.S. credibility. The margin for error is shrinking. The South China Sea is a powder keg. The Pagasa runway is more than infrastructure. It's a symbol of Filipino defiance. It marks a shift from protest to action, a fact on the ground that China can't ignore. But this act of resolve comes with risk. The runway could become a flashpoint, provoking Beijing to escalate. Will China blockade the island or target aircraft? The future of the region may hinge on Beijing's next move. At stake is not just Philippine sovereignty, but the rules-based order itself. If Manila is bullied out, it sets a dangerous precedent for the world. The U.S. and other allies must decide if they'll stand by their commitments. The runway is a test case for collective security. As the sun sets over Pagasa, the future is uncertain. Will this concrete line bring stability or spark new conflict? The world waits, hoping for dialogue, not war.